on a Monday. Let me turn my AC unit down. There. So maybe you should be able to hear me a little bit better now instead of the AC unit. I'm going to give everybody a minute to show up. What we're going to be doing today is making sunflowers. This is, if you can see the grains of that, that's sourwood. I don't know where it came from. I went on a stick ramble. And I'm going to make, it's giant. It's like 2 foot tall. I'm going to make a giant sunflower to go on top of this. And then I'm going to, hey Denise, I'm going to make a giant sunflower to go on top of this. And then I'm going to drill holes in my wood round and put them in the wood round. So I'm going to give everybody a minute. What I'm going to do is actually went to the Dollar Tree a long time ago. See how big this is? It's as big as my noggin. You could probably actually snip this in two and make 2 separate ones, or you can use a coat hanger and make them as big as you want. I'm going to use this giant sucker and make a giant sunflower. Mostly because if I don't like it on a stick, I can make it into a door hanger. And that's the way I roll. We'll make it work one way or another. So burlap, I'm going to use burlap as the cover, but burlap, if you put polyfill, burlap will show through. So I have just a muslin that I'm actually going to cut the circle out of. And actually what I'm going to do is just cut 2 squares, glue it, and then cut around it. I'm going to totally cheat. You can totally cheat on this, y'all. You can totally cheat. And give me just a minute, and I'll tilt my camera down so you can see what in the crap I'm doing. And this muslin is like the old-timey muslin. It's got flecks of every color in the world in it, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, I'm going to tilt my camera down, and you can see what I'm doing. Oh, yes, don't you like my shirt? Admit it, life would be boring without me. Yes. Yes, it would. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, I've just got this round on a square, and then I've doubled this over. And I'm going to use my poor little old stinking scissors that have about seen the end of their life to cut this. And then I'm going to make a junk pile. So we can leave this down here together because we're going to glue it anyway. It's not a big deal. I just like to kind of shape it up. So it's not as huge of a giant mess as it could be when you get the glue going on. Because, I mean, it's not going to matter if you bunch it up because the leaves and stuff are going to cover it up. But I prefer to not have as giant a mess as possible because I make big enough messes as it is. So all I'm doing is going around and like cutting off the excess. This is not a science. You do not have to be neat. You can do this with any fabric, any leftover fabric you have. I just happen to have burlap and muslin, so that's what we're going with. To be quite honest, I'll probably use those scraps as tendrils here in a minute. So what I'm going to do now at each side, let me tip this a little bit more. At each side, y'all, it stormed here all night last night, and so I have slept all day to catch up. And every time I have to take that shot, I have one day where I'm really tired, and apparently that was today. So I've had one of those really tired days today, but otherwise I feel fine. It's just I think the storms were a bit much on my poor old body. So I'm going to go and I'm going to glue it on both sides of the round, of the wire round, so that I tack it. And I'm just going to go around and tack it in a few strategic spots to make sure that when I start pulling it up and tightening it, that we're going to have enough to come up and cover the whole round. And that's just me being extra careful, because y'all know how I get carried away. And I saw one of these and I thought, well, wouldn't that be cute to put on a stick by the door on by my goat sign that says hello? And wouldn't it also be cute to make into a hanger if I didn't like it on the stick. So I thought, well, it's a win-win either way, so I'm going to make me one. And I am using Gorilla Glue. Unless they're sold out, the only glue I use is Gorilla Glue, because Gorilla Glue will hold anything. So once I get done gluing, I'll check the chat. So if you're talking to me, give me just a minute. Hello, Oscar. Okay, now I have just tacked that. I've left myself strategic holes. Mainly the one up here at the top, because this is where my polyfill is going to go in, and probably over here. I may do it over here. So I'm going to pick which one is going to be my strategic hole. Probably that one. And I'm going to go ahead and start gluing all of this other around. This is going to be at the back of the flower. Nobody's going to see it, so we don't care what it looks like. It's going to be covered. Don't worry about it. Literally, nobody's going to see this, and if they do, you shouldn't invite people that look behind your wreaths on your front door anyway. You shouldn't invite those people over to your house. That's rude. Let's see, I got my glue sticks out. Time to reload the glue gun. And now I do tend to use more glue on this as to less, because this is what's going to be holding the polyfill in. So if you ever do get carried away with glue, this should be the part of this craft that you get carried away with the glue on. Just remember to leave yourself a pocket to stuff the polyfill, or you will be very, very upset with yourself. As I'm sitting here, I'm noticing that my stomach is nowhere near the table anymore. I think I've lost more weight than I think I have, y'all. I have not weighed in. I didn't get a weigh in last week because David was working double shifts. So I probably won't get a weigh in until end of this week, if I get to weigh in this week. So don't really know how much weight I've lost. All I can tell you is that the water weight is no longer dragging me down. And that's a lovely feeling, I'm here to tell you right now. But now the storms last night still amped up my RSD. So my RSD is still going to have moments to where it's going to get me. There's no way I can get away from this disorder. But it is making it better. I can handle it better. So that's about all we really were hoping for anyway, was to improve functionality. Oh, and I ended up losing that part of my fingernail. Isn't that lovely? So I've got like half a fingernail there. Isn't that great? That's just, let me tell you what. Leave it to me with a paring knife. I've butchered how many hogs, and then I take my fingernail off with a paring knife. I mean, that takes some skill to be that stupid all at once. Oh, Lord. So if y'all have been trying to reach me today, I am sorry. I have been snoring because of the storms. We actually had another funnel cloud spotted in our area yesterday. I do not know who has got the remote control. And like I said, go to the Dollar General, get you a cheap pillow, use the polyfill, because the polyfill you're going to buy at Walmart is going to cost way more. We're going to stuff this thing. And you don't really have to stuff it a lot. And as you're stuffing, if you find a weak spot with your glue, just go back and re-glue. We're just going to stuff this thing. So you get 3 to 5 of those metal circles in varying sizes in a pack for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. And then I've got a stick from the yard and fabric and polyfill that I already had. So this is basically a freebie craft. And you can even make these as tiny out of little jar lids, little cannon jar lids. And I've got some jar rings that are so rusted I'm not going to use them this year. So I'm going to use them to make little tiny sunflowers. As just a table decor. Just because. Seemed like the thing to do. Y'all know how I am. Seemed like the thing to do, so I did it. I'm actually going to use my stick to push my polyfill in. You just want to make it kind of fluffy, just enough to where you can tell there's a puff to it. You don't want it to be, you know, super ginormous. It doesn't really take a whole lot of polyfill. I got my whole hand in there. So it doesn't have to be like, you know, ginormous. No, if you want to be really cute, you could sew a button through it and pinch it in the middle when you get done. Am I going to do that? I don't know. Depends on how I feel when I get done. But that will pinch it and make it even cuter. But I only have wooden buttons. I don't know how that would look, so I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. This is about as full as I'm going to make it. So I'm going to get in here and pull some of this kind of back down. Mostly because I don't want to fight this thing. So has anybody else heard the new song out by that Oliver Anthony from West Virginia? Richmond, north of Richmond. Oh my gosh. That man should be a national treasure. Like, we should go ahead and just give him Secret Service, because bless his heart, he told the absolute truth in that song, didn't he? I would love to see Tom McDonald pair up with this guy and do a song that would really kind of, I don't know, it would kind of feel for both the rap side of America and the country side of America. Okay, so now I've left a little hole right here. I'm going to stick my stick up in there. Now this is where you may have to do some sweet talking to your polyfill. And you kind of want your stick as far up in there as you can get it, because you want stability. Now, if you get this done and you don't like it on the stick, just cut the darn stick off and make it into just a wreath hanging. Or just hang it all as a big sunflower on your door. There are no rules. Nobody is the crafting popo. Nobody's going to tell you what you can and can't do. Do what you want to do. That's kind of my way I look at life. Do what you want to do. Okay, so now it looks like we're fixing to do Jiffy Pop popcorn on the kitchen table. Oh, Lord. I swear we're not. And this is what is going to go over. This is what is going to go over the front and the back when I get it done. But first, I have this. Set this aside for a second. I need a bigger table, but I need a bigger house if I'm going to get a bigger table, so that ain't going to happen. There we go. What I'm going to do, I know you love it when I rip fabric, but I'm not going to rip fabric. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to rip fabric. I might. The ragged edges do look kind of cute. Oh, heck. Well, anyway, I want them about this long to double, so they'll be about that long on my flower. I think that'd be about right. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to cut on my folds. And we'll see how well, they cut like butter. We'll see how well this rips going the other way. I ain't going to promise you nothing. So all y'all that like to hear me rip fabric, do not hold me. Oh, never mind. This going to work. You know, some fabrics don't quite like to rip, so you just kind of have to. Oscar, stop pushing your food bowl across the kitchen floor. You know you get fed later. Oscar likes to come on here when I'm doing something and make you all think he is like an orphan that is not treated well. I swear he is. So we're just stripping pieces that are about 4 to 5 inches thick and about 18 inches long. Flowers are not perfect, so this doesn't have to be perfect either. I don't know how many I'm going to need, so I'm going to make a few at a time so that I don't waste any of this fabric if I don't have to. Because if my mother watches this and I waste fabric, she will call me and tell me about it. Mom, I'm not going to waste fabric. I swear, Mom. I promise, Mom, I'm not going to waste fabric. Promise. Okay, now that I've done that. Now that my parents watch my channel, I get a lot of feedback. I get a whole lot of feedback from my parents. I actually went down and had dinner with them yesterday. Rip it. Rip it good. Well, that's Devo. Whip it. Never mind. See how my brain works, y'all? It's a dangerous place to live. And if y'all wonder if this is how I act in real life, yes, it is. Ask Gypsy. If I think it, I say it. It just comes out. I am not a speakerphone friend. It doesn't end well. And I don't even care that I've got the strip right here because we're going to fold it to the back. And who flipping cares? I see these women on YouTube that make crafting so pensive, intense. And I'm like, why would you do that to people? Crafting's supposed to be... Okay, if your sunflower is deformed, just beat it up a little bit. Crafting's supposed to be fun, you know. It's not supposed to be... It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. If perfection was what we went for in life, we would all fall mighty, mighty short. Okay, so I'm totally a cheater, and I love the ragged edges. So I kind of do this, and when I glue my sides here, I'm gonna vacuum after I do this. When I glue my sides, I'm gonna glue them about a 1/4 inch in so that half of the edge of the leaf can totally fray. And so if you keep this more than 1 year, it will be prettier the next year and 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 the next year. We're just going to stick them down like that. Now, if you want to put polyfill in these, you go right ahead, boo-boo. You do you. Do I really want to? No. It might come to a place where I might have to. But what I'm going to do is when I put them on, I'm going to pinch them. And my thought behind this was I could pinch them and then glue them all together and put a little wire frame at the top if I needed to. Now, would it be easier to maybe put polyfill in them? Maybe. We'll fill this one with polyfill and see what it looks like. This is where I said I should have the sewing machine out, Mother. Do not judge me, Mother. Mother. Do not judge me, Mom. Hot glue is my sewing machine. Now, if you do use polyfill, just use a little bit because it's highly likely you're going to have to anyway put something to hold them up. And you will find every hole that you didn't get glued when you put polyfill in here. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That does seem to fluff them up, but when you put it on your pillow, let me move this crap so you can see what I'm doing. When you glue it to your pillow, we'll start here at the bottom. Pinch it so that they kind of overlap as you go. So what I would do is glue half of it down, pull it over, put another half, but only then halfway unfold it so that you make a little pleat right here and then glue your pleat so that your petal is going to have a little bit. And you can do a couple of rounds of this, and then I may put a little leaves and stuff. And it may be that we come back and make it more like this. All right, let's take about longer, shorter. Shorter. Hang on, let's try something here. Let's not all vote at once. Geez, people. If we do a shorter petal, see, I do trial and error when I craft. I don't pre-plan anything. If we could do them as short as this. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, let's do shorter. Oh, that's how good Gorilla Glue is, y'all. Let's do shorter, which means I can make 2 out of this one. I like the shorter, and I win. Yeah, I like the short. Okay, good. Y'all like the short too. And we may not have to use the polyfill if we do the short. So let's try that. I still think we need to kind of pinch it and pleat it just to make it pucker. This is the only place in life you want a pucker factor. Oh, I'm full of myself today. These ladies that just put a dollop of glue and then go on, I'm like, how do you get that to stick? I don't understand. Like it, they freak me out. I'm like, how did you get that stick? I don't think if we do that, I don't think we're going to need to even punch the sides together. I think that it will be cute if they just become more and more ragged over time. Because if we do that, that's going to be so much time invested. Let's not do that. Let's let them get ragged over time and see what it looks like. I like rustic crafts. So now I'm going to overlap these just a little bit. Upchurch put out a new song today too. Has anybody seen it? He put it out with that was it Lonesome? Was it Lonesome? Lone Star? Oh gosh, I've slept since then. I caught it briefly before I passed out for my second nap of the morning. And I liked the beat to it. Did I have a clue who he was singing with? Absolutely not. But I did like the beat to it. But I don't always know who he's singing with because I'm an old fart from Appalachia that has children almost as old as him. So I don't always know who these people are that he's singing with. I don't always know. Now I may come back and put a divot in my leaves. Executive decision. I'm putting a divot in my leaves. I can make my hands work. I have had some hand problems today. And it's just been this weather. It's just been the weather, and the storms have just irritated my nerve issues to death. And last night, my feet and knees were so bad. And it was the first night since I started this Mounjaro, well, maybe the third night altogether. Because the first couple of nights I had water coming off of me so bad. But it was like the first night in a long time that I had such bad foot pain. And as soon as the weather passed this morning, it stopped, and I looked at David and I said, thank goodness I cooked early yesterday. I said, I'm going to bed. Do not wake me up. And then he went on to work. But I did not rest at all last night. It was just horrible. And I felt fine early in the day, but then when the storms came through, it was just like, ow. It hurt. Okay, so we're already about halfway around this. So we're doing pretty good. I'm trying to do something fun before I get back into the native stuff, because I've got to get a whole bunch of native stuff done before we go to the next Doohitchy-Majigger. Yeah, sale. Because he only has a couple more. And so I've got to get a bunch of stuff done. And when you do something all the time, it kind of sucks the fun out of it. So I've been trying to do a couple of just crafts for me, so that I don't feel like I'm constantly, I know nothing about the new artist. Be loose, but what? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get caught up now. See, I hadn't heard anything about that. I thought him and Be Loose were tight. I know nothing. See, when I got all that hate from people, which I must say, everything I said last winter, how spot on was I? Hey, yo, listen to my hands. My hands are talking. I was spot freaking on. And nobody wanted to hear it because they were like, well, if you're saying these nasty things, you're not a fan. No, I'm totally a fan, but he's given you a chance to say, look, even the most famous families are screwed up. Look at your family, and if you see any of this, be aware. And people were so butthurt about me trying to use him as an educational tool, which he was fine with, that nobody wanted to listen. So I just shut up. And now everybody's like, oh my God, you were totally right. Well, yeah, no, I didn't have a career in that. Oh, it's straying all over me. I didn't have a career in that because I was stupid, y'all. I had a career in that because I was good at it. I knew something bad was going on. I just, you never know how bad until the family has to go to court or opens up and tells people. And now everybody's like, well, will you do a video on this? No, because y'all treated me like crap last time I opened my mouth about him. And I don't really care to talk about him right now. So, I mean, I'm at that point. So, but I hadn't heard that about, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'll definitely look into it. Because that would, I know that he seemed to have a lot of trust in that fellow, which I did not particularly care for him, but he seemed to have a lot of trust in that fellow. Stick. Okay, we got half the sunflower done. We're going to flip it. But, I mean, honestly, in this world, you can trust very few people, and the longer you live, the more surprised you're going to be about how horrible people can be to you. And it's just because as people age, they either become more gracious or more cynical. And you never know what you've got in a friend, until they probably hit their 40s. You really just don't know what kind of person that person's going to be, because there's so much change that happens in your life in between, your 20s and 40s. And it all shapes you. And depending on how it hits you and how you bounce back is, that's the kind of person you're going to be and the kind of person you're going to be toward others. And people think, oh, I've known this person since kindergarten. I know a little bit about him. Well, you probably do know more than most, but you still don't know their heart. And it doesn't matter how much you really know them. It's very difficult to ever really know somebody's heart, because people are capable of such horrible things. Like my freaking neighbor coming in with his bass blaring right now. And he knows that irritates the heck out of me. I mean, he absolutely knows that irritates the heck out of me. Hey, DJ, can you turn your bass down a little bit? Thank you. I'm almost deaf anyway. Idiot. That's how you politely ask an idiot to do something. I have no problem yelling out my front door if I have an issue with you. And that was very polite of me, I must add. I could have said something else, but I didn't. But he turned it down, and I said thank you. He's come out 3 or 4 times today, and I have extra. If you don't know my saga, I had mastoiditis a 3 years ago, and I have extra bones and extra bone marrow in my ears like people are not supposed to have. So any bass hurts me. It jars my jaw, it jars my eardrum, and it hurts me. And so I can literally hear him when he's like almost a 3/4 mile up the road at the sawmill. I can hear him because of the jarring in my eardrums. And I don't appreciate it. So I keep figuring if I keep reminding him I don't appreciate it, maybe one day it'll stick. Yeah, you get I mean, and I wasn't talking bad or good. I was saying, hey, look, this is what his family's going through. This is what families go through. This is some of the reason why families go through this. This is the augmentation that fame can cause in a family. And hey, this is a great time to look at red flags in your family because he's given us a rare view into fame and how it kind of screws up families. Oh, God. Oh, how dare you? How dare I try to help half of his fans identify flaws that can be repaired before they end up in the same position? How dare... Oh, I'm such a horrible person. And, he said it many a time that I'm putting this out there so you all can see this. Well, if somebody's willing to share something that personal, then use it for something good, instead of cheering him on and almost inciting him to behavior that he doesn't need to have. What you should be doing is going, okay, this is very harmful for a family. If this can happen to somebody like him, it can happen to anybody. What can I learn from this, and how do I make sure that my family never ends up here? But no one wanted to hear that. They just wanted gossip and hate. And y'all, gossip and hate is real cheap on the market. You know something? I mean, you can get that anywhere. That's like generic Whoppers. You can get chocolate malt balls anywhere. Life would go better if you look for authentic things and people. But that takes age and wisdom. And I'm sorry to say, I don't think the world today has got much wisdom going for it. I see these younger people, and I'm like, how old were you when you learned to tie your shoes? They worry me. I'm just going to say they worry me a little bit because of some of the misconceptions they have. Like, they all want to follow this Maoistic, kind of viewpoint. But then they won't read far enough back in history to understand that when Mao finally came into power, he killed over half of his followers. Read. It's like, read the final chapter of the book. It's like, even if you have to skip ahead and learn something. So they all think that Mao was this great, kind, benevolent man that just wanted everyone to live similarly. No, he was just trying to get control. And when he got control, he killed over half of his followers. And it's like, those ending chapters are really important, young people. Read. And it boggles my mind. It's, some of the ways that they will try to come out and protect their ideologies with such blatant disregard to actual, accurate, correct history that can be documented through census awareness and ship records and shipping and trade routes and records. And it's like, that did not happen. But we do everything now based on emotion. And it's like I've told y'all several times, emotions are great things, but if you make your decisions when you're in an emotional place, you're going to make the wrong ones. Because when you're stuck in your amygdala, which is your fight or flight, your very big emotions, your brain is not functioning at full capacity, and you are not going to make a good decision. Okay, we have the whole thing now with the first round of petals around it, and I actually happen to think it's very cute. It's got a lot of glue on it right now, but something, we'll just deal with it. Now, I actually think it'd be cute to kind of go in and put like an extra petal every now and again. So I might do that. I've got 2 here, and then I can cut a couple more. But has anybody ever read, these books and finished them and been like, these young people are following, like, people, lazy brains? That's a good one. Hello, Libby Cats. Hello. How you doing? But, I mean, I wonder if these kids in college that have these professors that, say all these big names, I wonder if these kids actually go back and read the endings of these books that their professors recommend, because I'm sorry, I'm just a little bumpkin from Appalachia, but these professors that I don't think they're all too smart because, it takes you about 5 minutes to prove that whatever they're saying. I'm going to make some of these a little smaller too. It takes you about 5 minutes to prove that whatever they're saying didn't truly happen. And it's like, I hate to see young people follow anyone blindly. I know that part of being young and learning is being young and stupid and having to learn by mistakes. But you can really whittle down the mistakes if you place yourself with good, solid adults. People that have accomplished a lot in life and have had no criminal issues and have never filed for bankruptcy. And, these are people you want to spend your time with, good people. But it seems that our society does not promote good people. And it's sad. But, it is what it is. Society is screwed up in so many ways. I'm going to put this one big one down here on the bottom so that if it happens to flap, it will flap down. And I'm going to pinch it just a little tighter because the other ones are going to be smaller. So literally this is $1.25, one of the 3 or 5 little $1.25 Dollar Tree green rings, or you can get a coat hanger, muslin glued over it, polyfill, and then extra fabric that I had cut into these little petals and stuck on a stick that I got out of the yard. A sourwood stick, if y'all must know. I killed the glue gun. And so this is basically a 50-cent craft because all my fabric is leftover scrap fabric that I've acquired and stuck in my craft room, which I call Chernobyl. Gypsy's seen my craft room. She knows why I call it Chernobyl. And on this round, what we're going to do is pinch in the middle to make a little pleat in the leaf. I don't know if you can see that, but it makes a little pleat in the middle of the leaf. We're going to do that on this round. We're going to get all fancy Nancy. But I lovingly call my craft room Chernobyl because it literally at all times looks like a bomb went off. Most of it is boxes and stuff for shipping. But then the other half of it is when I clean stuff up quickly, I literally just take it in there and dump it next to the door. I know it's a horrible, horrible habit. I'm going to break it. But up until the last couple of weeks, I had to really limit my energy and where I put it because of this disorder. And now I'm starting to have more energy because I've got a lot of fluid off of my body. And so now my body is getting a little bit more energy. Unless I have a night like last night where storms come through and I don't get to sleep. That was not a good night. My burlap will cover that, so I'm not really worried about that. My dad sent me a really awesome picture of a funnel cloud they saw right over like 1.5 miles from my house. I was like, oh, gee, thank you, Dad. I had no idea. Now thank you for making me worry. But I didn't think the storm here was that bad. But now, as much rain as I got yesterday, my body was just like, nope. Okay, so here we're on our second round. Now, this is going to be really cute when we get the burlap on it. Pinching that in. The burlap is what is going to make it really look cute. And probably this will end up on my front door. What's on my front door right now? Nothing. Oh, God, I'm so seasonally depressed. There's nothing on my front door right now. That's like abnormal for me. I kept one of my little gnome fall wreaths from last year for my door. I do have him hanging in my craft room, ready to go into action when it's fall. but we're just not quite there yet. And I hate to rush it because y'all, summer is my season of the most relief with my body, and I need it. And I hate to see summer go. I really hate to see summer go. Now I'm just doing this. I'm kind of going over the burlap or over the muslin and over the fabric as well, just so that it kind of adheres to both, and it just gives me a secondary hope that it's stuck well enough it's not gonna move. Literally, it is hope, especially if I hang this on the front door, because I know that stupid cat's gonna attack it as soon as I put it out there. I swear my cat is not right. He's not right in the head, y'all. I took my flags down the other day. Now, I'm taking my flags down every day it rains this spring and summer like clockwork, because I don't want my flags broken, because I have all the ones that Mr. Garland doesn't want Americans to have. Oh, I love being a butthole. And I don't know what it was, but he's seen me do this probably 30 times over the spring and summer. And all of a sudden, he's noticed the flags, and he hissed at them for like an hour and a half last night. Sat on the front porch and just like had it out verbally with these flags that I've taken off and on my porch 30 times this year and put in the same spot where the wind won't, knock them off the porch. And I don't know if he just finally noticed him or what, but he was terrified and was just having it out with him. And I was like, Phantom, honey, are you okay? And of course, I can't touch him. I can't pet him. He's wilder than I ain't. I do not know what is wrong with him. I've talked to the vet about him. She kind of agrees with me. He may be one of the babies that either had a little bit of hydrocephalus when he was born, or maybe didn't have enough oxygen when he was born. And that could account for some of the emotional inconsistencies. It happens in horses too. I've seen horses like that, and they can't be trained. But this cat is strange. And I'm like, it's like he's getting worse as he gets older. And it may just be his hormones kicking in now, making him kind of grumpy. But I just kind of looked at him like, you have seen these things your whole life. Like the whole time you have resided on this porch, these flags have been here. What is so scary about them now? But apparently something is tragically scary about them now. And like he was doing the old Don Juan piano cat talking yesterday, and I was like, Phantom, honey, these flags have been here for months. We like about 3 more maybe. Yeah, 2 more after this one and we'll be done. Then we can add our burlap, and then I'll show you how to make a little leaf. But I am interested if anyone has been watching the Oliver Anthony boom that's going on across our nation right now. The guy that sang the Rich Men North of Richmond. I'm really jealous that people in West Virginia get to claim this man. I would claim him in a heartbeat as a Tennessean. I'm totally gluing my strings inside. Don't judge me. His song is so authentically pure. And I just wish every person in Congress had to sit and listen to it and realize that that is how we feel daily as citizens here. And I wish they all had to listen to it on repeat for like 3 days, just so I knew it was in the back of their brain. But I'm really, really upset. You better watch that. I'm really upset that he is a gorgeous kitty, but he's stupid. Someone called the other day and said, oh, good grief. I mean, yeah, if you're having an issue, Lord, call 911. Oh my gosh, I wonder if your cat went to live with someone else and now has come back and been like, y'all didn't treat me right. No, I'm going to tell you about it. He went to summer camp. It's just a long summer camp. I had old Tomcat go off like at once and come back, and I was like, where did you go? Yeah, those old farts. It's, that's what I'm saying. Some people just, I don't think they have the capacity in their hearts to care for others. And I think it's a now problem. I don't think it's an always been problem. I mean, there's always been murders. There's always been, drastic ways that people take advantage of the law. But our government in the last 10 to 15 years has turned sorrier than any suck egg dog I've ever seen. And if you are country, you know that is a really bad comparison for someone to have. I'm gonna have to go back and indent these leaves real quick, but it's easier for me to move on like this than to take the time. But like on the special counsel that they promoted in Hunter's case, it's just the same guy that was going to get him the sweetheart deal. Oh, he's completely going to do this completely legit. Don't worry, people. It's completely going to be legit. There's no way he would screw it up. Oh, Lord. And then you got to look at all of our young men that are soy boys these days. Bless their hearts. They don't know what it is to be a man. And have y'all ever worked at horse farms where you got the teaser pony? And the teaser pony gets used to bring the mares into heat because you don't want you studs to get hurt by the mares, because the mares can be kind of flippant, hateful, and kick and be quite dangerous if they're not ready to be bred. And so you use the teaser pony. And that way the teaser pony gets kicked and the teaser pony gets, knocked sideways and not your big high dollar studs. Well, we now, because of all this sexual immaturity in our nation and all these people that have got some dysfunction going on because of changes that they created in their body that they didn't know the consequences of, we now have a whole generation of teaser ponies. And you know how hateful and upset teaser ponies are. They're just constantly grumpy because, bless their hearts, they never get what they want, but they get used. And they don't figure out they were used until they get old enough to realize I'm never gonna get them out that mare, am I? And then those teaser ponies turn into Satan. And I think we have a whole generation of men that are teaser ponies. And the sad thing is that the good men, like that Oliver Anthony dude, the good solid men are getting overlooked because society thinks, oh, we've got to be progressive. Well, sometimes progression mimics regression. And I'm just sorry. I think we've regressed as a society. I think men have regressed as men. And I think women need to shut the heck up and let men be men. And I say that as a burly woman that could probably outwork most men when I was a young girl. But men need to be able to be men. And we ought not be mad at them because, doggone it, they were the ones. I mean, women were alongside them, but they were the ones brave enough to strike out and settle land and war with other peoples and tribes and conquer and claim the earth. And everybody's like, well, that's colonization. Well, listen, that's what every society has done. So suck it up, buttercup. That's just how the world works. But we oughtn't be mad at somebody for fulfilling themselves biologically. I mean, we can't be mad at someone else choosing an alternative biological perspective. So why can you be mad at someone choosing their natural biological perspective? And if you've listened to my rants before, you know that I used to counsel people, and I think there's about 3% of people that genuinely do benefit from gender gender switching. So, there's about 3%. And normally it's because of an issue at birth, a hormonal issue at birth, all the big words that you can't say on YouTube without being flagged for. But I think that we just have a society of whining babies. And if we had to conquer a land or rebuild our nation, we would be foobarred because nobody has the skills or the desire or the muscle mass or heck, even the want to. They don't. If they don't see a benefit in it for themselves, then they don't want to do it. They don't want to help others. They don't want to be of use for anyone but themselves. It's just we've turned into such a nihilistic society. It's pathetic. And I hate to tell them, but in all of history, every society that went nihilistic erased themselves from the earth. It's just that easy. The home teasers go to the soap factory. They go to the glue factory. They get made into dog food. That's not me being mean. That's the truth. Where did I put my burlap? Had it in my hand like 5 minutes ago. Oh, it fell. Okay, I've got it. Now, then this is where we have to be kind of careful because I have to really cut this like it's going to look like something. So, I have to actually care what this looks like. Let's see here. I'm going to chop around this and leave myself just enough extra room to tuck it under when I hook it on. So that I have a little bit of a poof on it anyway. And that way I'll get, plus it's burlap and it's holy. Don't everybody do your religious chants right now. I meant holy as in sieving. It couldn't hold back water if it wanted to. Because it's holy, I like to have the 2 layers of burlap just because then I get 2 chances at holding. And when I said religious chants, I almost did the religiousbobandtom.com chant. Sorry, that's what came to my mind. Isn't that horrible? I'm a horrible person. Okay. So now you can obviously put something else in here if you want to. You can put another live color. What I'm just going to go with this because this is for me and I kind of do everything I do for me kind of plain Jane. Sorry. If you order something from me, it's awesome. It's beautiful. But if I do it for myself, it's, plain. And that just is the way I am. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to go over and under just like I did before. So I catch 2. I'm going to flip it. Flip it good. I'm sorry. I'm going to push down and then I'm going to come back as I roll it over and push it down again. Get aggressive, people. Get aggressive. Super glue and hot glue is not foolproof. Look at all this on me. Good Lord have mercy. Can't say I don't use hot glue. Now, as you go around, it gets tougher and tougher to do, but don't worry. You can do it. I have faith in you. You just have to create that lip so that you get 2 chances for your super glue to hold. And yes, you will burn yourself. It's okay. It will heal. It will take time, but it will heal. My mother, when I wasn't even in kindergarten, and they would tell me to go serge something at the serger. Now, if you know what a serger is, it's basically a razor blade that goes up and down and you cut the fabric edges off. Knowing now what that was when I was a 5-year-old doing it, I'm like, holy crap, Mom. But you know something? She trusted me enough to do it, and I did it, and I never hurt myself. And it says a lot, I guess, for the faith she must have had in me as a young woman. Because her and Granny never hesitated to send me right on to the serger to serge whatever needed to be serged. We're almost there, people. Grand finale is about to happen. Just hang on. This is where you burn yourself because you tuck it under and then you touch it and then you burn the snot out of yourself. If anybody had noticed in the last several of my videos that my Cody vertebrae lamp is no longer with me, It went to live with Sabrina. Now I'm going to put a little divot in a couple of spots here to make this lay right. A dart, I guess, is the sewing word. Now this is where you will use all of your glue. Don't worry, Walmart sells more. I hate Walmart. I actually had to go into Walmart yesterday, and I actually had, that may be why my legs hurt me too. I had to walk Walmart yesterday, and that was not fun. I don't like Walmart. And I don't like it even more when their associates don't know where something is, but they like fictitiously make up aisles that don't exist just to get me out of their hair. I will go back and tell you that aisle does not exist, Bubba. Where are you sending me? Because I didn't appreciate that. But if anybody needs to know, the Liquid IV is also in the pharmacy, but also in the Kool-Aid or mixed drink aisles where they keep all the like margarita mixes, even though I live in a dry, well, I don't live in a dry county anymore. They finally passed it, but yeah, it's down the aisle that nobody ever goes down because nobody in my county really drinks that much. So I had to go down the aisle, and everybody thought I was getting like alcohol or something, and I was like, I'm getting Liquid IV because that's what I drink while I'm on this Monjaro stuff. Okay, now I'm going to pucker this, and then I'm going to hide it with a leaf. It'll work. Shh, don't tell anybody. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. Don't tell anybody. Nobody will know. And if somebody does know, I know that you all told. And then you're going to have some explaining to do. Gypsy, has Abby got her package yet? That was what I woke up wondering this morning. If you're still here. Oh, the fawn. The fawn is still here. The Wildlife Refuge got 2 others from somewhere else, and Andrew was like, can y'all just take care of him? And I was like, Andrew. He was like, no, seriously, can you just take care of him? He's probably not hurt that bad, and he's probably going to wander off and follow a deer off as soon as his leg heals. Can y'all just let him hang out? Oh, yeah, he's hanging out. He's ate every one of my freaking tomatoes. Not yet. Okay, it should be there today or tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. That little turd has ate every one of my good ripe tomatoes. Dadgum him. I have to race to the garden to get them before him. But he's eating good. And David went and got him a salt block so he gets some minerals into him and put him out a little container to catch water because my husband is the eternal teddy bear. And he's still picking and hiding and doing fine. I'm hoping as here in about 3 weeks to a month, the deers, the way they move will change because the rut will be coming on soon. And I'm hoping that then one of them will come through my backyard and be like, oh, look, a little one. Let's take him home. Okay, so you can fluff these or let them fall. I prefer to let them just kind of be fluffy and fall. Let me hold that. I just kind of like the sloppy look. And if you put a door hanger on it, you can kind of like stick the top onto the door hanger. You can buy like a letter for your last name put there. I've got a little bumblebee that I'm going to put there. But I think I'm just going to put a leaf there too. And then I'll cut another round for the back. I'm going to make some leaves. But he's with us. I have adopted a child. He's with us until he follows somebody else off. And we just kind of treat him like, yo, you don't need to mess with us and we don't need to mess with you. But he just happens to find water and salt and tomatoes and vegetable clippings and stuff like that. I got the seeds. There's an heirloom place on eBay. I'd have to go and look up their name now. But they're like a 100-year-old farm and they only sell their heirloom seeds. And I buy my weird sunflower seeds from them. And because they got them the first year that they were augmented, before they were augmented to where they wouldn't come back and you couldn't reseed them. So I can totally reseed from mine. Isn't it strange how they're taking our ability to reseed anything away from us? Shammy on you. Know what you up to. I mean, they think we don't know. We know. We totally know. We totally know. We totally know. I'm going to attach this in a couple places because it's burlap, and burlap is holy. Go ahead and chant again if you must. And I do have a little bee. I'm going to have to find him because he's in my craft room somewhere. I do have a little bee, though. Oh, look, it looks like a mermaid tail. See, I can be a girl. I do have a little bee. I'm just going to tie this around the stick down here. Oh, let me tip down so you can see what I'm doing. Hey, Elizabeth. I'm just going to tie this like I just split it. And I'm going to tie it. Don't pull too hard. You'll tear it. So all you muscle mamas out there, don't go crazy. And then I'm going to kind of weave it through the petals a little bit so it kind of sticks in certain places. I'm working with a short cord. I don't have my extension cord today. I want that one to hang up like that. I want this one to hang down like this. Oh, also an interesting news that you really probably don't care to know. So it's 32 years since Freddie Mercury left Garden Lodge to marry Green, and so everything is now going to Sotheby's. It's been labeled for auction. So Garden Lodge will never be Garden Lodge again as we know it. Everything's going to Sotheby's for auction, and then the home will be auctioned. Like some people said, oh, they're going to turn it into a museum. Freddie was terribly private. He did not like people in his home that he did not know. I don't think they should turn it into a museum. Of course, I have a lot of reverence for the man. As many of you know, that's kind of what got me through teenage years was Queen music and grit. And I really just, even if it were open to be a museum, I don't think I could walk across the threshold because I know enough about him because I'm really good friends with Peter Freestone. I know enough about him that he did not like people in his home that he did not invite. And that was his safe place. And I don't think that even if they sold tickets to... I dropped my other stick. I don't think that even if they sold tickets to let people in there... God, the burlap and glue. I don't think I could walk across the threshold. Because I would feel like I was really doing something that he did not want done. Because I know that that was his private sanctuary. I just don't think I could do it. I don't think... Could you do it? I couldn't do it. Oh, muscle and definition check. They're coming back. Now if my belly would just go away. Now I'm going to have to do some secondary gluing on my shtick. But this is my big honking sunflower. And you can also add some leaves down here if you want to. I might. I'm going to put a little either mini flower here or a bee. Thank you, Libby Cats. I'm trying. I'm either going to put a little mini flower here or a bee. But then I'm going to put a couple more... leaves. Might even put a little tiny flower down here. And I'm going to hang it on my door. And I'm going to dare anybody to tell me I'm not freaking seasonal. Because I am. See what I made? I did it. Yes, I'm in an extra spunky mood today. No, I've not had caffeine in almost a week. I can't stand caffeine anymore. I can't stand the way it tastes. I can't stand anything about it. I just know. And so I drink Liquid IV and Propel and water. I don't know this Monjaro or Mounjaro, however the heck you say it. You think I'd know how to say it by now. It has changed me in ways I did not think possible, but I now pay. Thank you. It is very cute, isn't it? Now, the back's ugly as homemade sin, but if somebody comes to your house to look at the back of your crafts, send them home. They ain't there for the right reasons. That's like going somewhere and saying, let me see the bloomers you're wearing today. I want to see if they're as pretty as mine. No, you don't need to know those things. You don't need to know those things. There are just some things that you just don't need to know. I'm going to make more leaves because that's who I am. I'm extra. But I don't know how much I've lost, but I do know that my eating has changed. I now have to set a timer to remind me to eat. the last day or two when the shot's wearing off, I noticed that I could eat a little bit more than I could the couple of days before, but I'm still not really hungry. But like I can definitely enjoy meals more, but I still am not hungry, and things don't taste like they used to. But I didn't have like everybody's like, well, do you still have food noise? I didn't have food noise before. I would, if I got busy, I would forget to eat before. I just ate at the wrong times and did not keep my blood sugar where it needed to be. And so my body was not using the calories and using the fat I was eating correctly. And I was getting very close probably to having some very big pre-diabetic issues if I really want to own up to it. And so I think we got lucky, me and my doctor. I think we got very lucky that we caught this when we caught it, because the changes that I've noticed have been amazing. The only negative I can say to this is that I can belch like a frat boy at a kegger. I've never been to a kegger, but from the movies I've watched, that's apparently what it sounds like. And I don't know where it comes from, but I most certainly can. The liquid IV, I used to not be able to stand it until I started putting it in twice as much water. Hey, Nell. Nell's last video, honey, that wig. Anyway, dilute liquid IV into twice as much water as they say, and it will taste much better. So I dilute it into almost 40 ounces. I have a big 40-ounce cooling, one of those big 40-ounce mugs that keeps everything cool. And I literally put it in 40 ounces, and it tastes great. And the pina colada is my favorite. The pineapple is my next favorite. And I'm learning to love it because I cannot drink soda anymore. It tastes absolutely pathetic. So this has changed me a lot. My doctor is dying to get me into weigh me because my nurse is like sending in notes, and he's like, "She looking that good?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yes." And I'm like, I can tell because like I'm pulling my britches up everywhere I go, and then my clothes are fitting me, and I put stuff on, and like where it would pinch me like 3 weeks ago, nothing's getting pinched now, and I'm like, okay, so I know my body's changing. But I think a lot of it mostly to this point is still water weight. But I mean, it's like I said, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. I ain't picky. I ain't picky. I ain't picky. But if you haven't watched Nell's video that she put out yesterday, where it was like part 2 of that mess, the wig. I love that. I love the texture of that wig. Now, I love the texture of that wig. But it doesn't, I don't understand why they made it that way. But now I'm still learning about wigs, okay? And I swear, I'm playing Fishland and Farmland. Farmland. Oh, you can tell, thank you. I'm playing Fishland and Farmland to try to get free stuff. And I have a wig on my freebie games I'm playing. So if I win that wig, Miss Heifer's going to do a wig review. Now, I'm not saying it will be entertaining, but it'll definitely be interesting. Oh, because I've never. The only people I've known wear a wig was one woman that had cancer that went to church with us, and she wore a wig. But she kind of had to, so it was one of those you don't talk about that situations. So I never got to really ask questions. And for me, that was hard because I had, like, always 10,000 questions in my brain. Y'all know me by now. Y'all know me. I had way too many questions in my head. Well, if I win, and I'm like, I am 2 things of weed away from Farmland, and I'm trying to think. I'm even closer in Fishland. I'm so close in Fishland. But I don't know anybody else to play. So if anybody else plays stuff, if you play Fishland or Farmland, drop your link down below so we can link up, because I got nobody else that plays around here, because nobody around here does team. Apparently I'm the only person, although I have got my mother addicted. I'm the only person. Sorry, Mom. This is where I'm. Sorry, Mom. I apologize to my mother. I apologize. But no one else around here does anything with Temu. And I'm like, I can't live without Temu. How do y'all live without Temu? Like I can buy 10 times the scrubby brushes for my sink for the same price as one at Walmart. Now, I'm sorry, but that makes me want to dig up Sam Walton and smack him. I'm sorry, that was rude of me, but that makes me want to, that's exactly what it makes me want to do. There ain't no call for that. I mean, you know, we're all getting gypped enough as it is. We don't need to be gypped extra. Okay, Ashley. Ashley, you know how to reach me, don't you? Send me a link. Anybody you can email me at watersworkload@gmail.com. Gosh, this burlap is up my nose and everywhere. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. But nobody else around here plays it, so I'm just kind of like the odd man out. And I'm like, seriously, nobody around here plays this? So I have like 2 friends, and they don't visit a whole lot. Now, Gypsy visits the most for me. But in Jamestown, nobody. And then one lady was like, you ought not purchase from that place. It's helping, it's going to help China own America. I said, China already owns America. Think I'm helping anything that ain't already happened? I'm like, lady, check for polyps while you're up there, because that was about how I took that. I was like, really? That's what you're going to worry about right now? But I have to admit, once you learn the good stuff to buy on Temu, you know what you can buy and what you can't. Oh my gosh, Nell, that maxi dress you had on the other day, the bright yellow one with the stripes. Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous. That was very pretty. I have to be very careful what I order. I have to look at the bust size because I have shoulders like a goddamn man. I'm built like a linebacker. So I have to look at the bust size and kind of estimate the shoulder size, because I will break something if I try to bend over, pick something up. I will like split it down the back. I did that to a home sewn dress my mama made for me once, and I felt really bad. She was like, just don't do anything outlandish in it. It'll be fine, because she had sewed it a little tight, and I didn't think I was doing anything outlandish in it. Split it clean in 2. And it was a beautiful pink sailor neck dress, and it was just where it laid right across the broadest of my shoulder. I just popped her right in 2. I just split it right down the zipper. I felt so bad because my mama had worked on that, and that was really one of the most beautiful dresses she made for me. My mama made dresses for me all the time. That was one of my favorite. And I felt really bad because I just destroyed it in like one swift movement. I felt really bad. Sorry again, Mom. My mother watches this. Sorry again, Mom. I don't have a channel anymore. I just have an apology letter to my parents. But I wish I could look good in maxi dresses, but I look like a watermelon because I'm shaped literally like a watermelon. I'm getting better. Now, as I'm losing more weight, it's getting better. But I still am a little girthy in the middle. I look like a mare that's been fed really, really good and put out to pasture and not rode for about 5 years. And you know, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I'd rather look like a show mare that gets exercise daily. But you know, it can't all be perfect. I have to be out there in the world to let all you imperfect people know you matter. Like me. Actually, I think the imperfect people are the most beautiful. We're the brave ones that show everybody else what fun life can be. Okay, so I'm burning my fingers now, but I'm trying to get this flour tucked and set. I'm definitely going to have to do some glue cleanup. Oh my gosh, have I made a mess with the glue. And let me crumple my leaves and I'll be done. Hang on, I swear. I'm hurrying, people. I swear I am. This burlap, holy burlap, if you want to chant again, go ahead, is making it hard to glue and make it stick. Now, because this is burlap, if you put it outside, expect it to get more raggedy. I think it's prettier when it gets more raggedy. Also expect to have to do glue touch-ups from time to time. Sorry, they just don't make burlap like they used to. I've got, look. Stuck to me everywhere. I've got one more to do and then we'll be done. I'll have to do some shaping and some cleanup work on it, but I have to stare at it. You know what? I have to look at it and it has to talk to me, and then I have to figure out what it wants to be, and then I'll finish it up. Y'all know how I work. That big honking girly dream catcher I made. Oh, I lost my words right in the middle of my sentence. Good Lord. It sold in legit an hour the first day of the 127 yard sale. So I guess I'm going to be making more girly dream catchers, because apparently they sell really well and women like them. Now I'm more, because of my background and my native stuff, I am more native and I like for them to be more authentic. I am amazed at how many people, even though I tell them I'm Cherokee, I'm Lenape, this is what I learned to do, this is my heritage, they will still come screaming at me about what I put on my dream catchers. And I'm like, I just made it authentic. But the girly ones sold, so I'm like, well, maybe I need to make more girly ones. But I get more joy out of making my native ones, because that's what I was raised to do. Okay, so when you get up close, you can tell it's got a second flower. Oh, you can tell there too. It's got a second flower on it. I may put another one down here. I don't know, but my stick is long and it's firmer now. Now I'm going to use, because I have 5,000 pieces of leather, I'm going to put a leather hanger on the back, and I already have a hook on my door. I'm going to clean off some of the glue because it's pretty gluey. It's really gluey. I want this to get ragged, frayed, icky, windblown, and to look like it's been out in the sun for like decades. And then I will think it's pretty, because that's just how I am. I don't know what's wrong with me. Feel free to diagnose me. I have my degree, but I've never been able to diagnose myself. They say you shouldn't. So y'all have any clues, just let me know. But I happen to think that the more raggedy the burlap and the fabric looks, I like homespun stuff. I think it looks prettier. So I'm going to totally stick this on my door. And the first couple of storms that come through, not even worry about it. Just be like, oh, well, you're on your own, Bubba. And let me see how it kind of fares it and see what it turns into. And then after that, I will start maybe bringing it in and protecting it. And I will probably, when it gets to the place where I want it to be, to where it looks kind of raggedy and I like it like that, what I will probably do is, at that point, go ahead and get my poly spray, just clear enamel spray like you can get at Walmart for $3 in a can. I will probably go ahead and get that and spray the heck out of it so that it will stay looking like that. But, well, for a little while. I mean, it'll help it stay like that for a little while. You won't keep it like that indefinitely, but it will help it stay like that for a little while. Now I'm going to make a little 4-pronged flower, so I'm making a half and a half. And then I swear, when I get it hung on my door, I will take a picture and put it on my community post. And then when it gets to the ragged where I like it, I will take another picture for y'all so that y'all can see kind of where I like it. Because I think these get just prettier with time. So I'm like, hang them on your door and forget about them. And they literally will get prettier with time. I'm not a big perfection person. And honestly, my front porch, where David works at a metal fabrication plant, my front porch stays black from that metal stuff that he drags in. And I meant to repaint my porch this summer, but I never got around to it with everything else that was going on. Losing Granny kind of got my summer kind of wonky. It took me by surprise, and then everything else just kind of, then mom's surgery. But I really wanted to repaint my porch this summer. I never got around to it. I had enough good health days. I think I could have gotten it done. But we just, it wasn't in the books for this year. So I'm not going to be mad about it. I'll get to it next year. Jonah said he'd help me whenever I wanted to get it done. So I'll just call my bonus children. And we will have a painting day. And I think that'll be a good day spent for everybody, because we don't get to see each other as much as we used to. Jonah's doing lots of shows with his new band. And, and my Pirelli, Chris Stringer, that is doing the songwriting and singing competition. He's still in the top 10, y'all. He's still in the top 10. I'm so freaking proud of him. And all of his songs are about overcoming addiction and staying sober. And people are loving them. They're loving listening to him, and they're loving his message. And I don't think he thought he would be received this well. And I'm excited that he is learning how valuable he is. So I'm really tickled with him. And he's ecstatic. So he's still hanging in there and doing good. This is his first real competition, so it's a learning curve for him, but he's doing excellent, and I'm just freaking proud of him. And he has more songs, and I need to do more videos. Or you can go join his channel at Chris Stringer. You have to kind of look for it. It's him standing up holding a guitar. He only has like 3 subs because everybody mostly follows him on Facebook. But the man writes some amazing music about addiction and overcoming addiction. So, okay, I'm going to have to clean this up because bless his heart, looks like Raggedy Ann and Andy right now, but I added just a little bit more color down here around the leaves. I'm going to put a hanger. I'm going to put it on the door. I will put it on the door. I will take a picture and I will share it with you all. This is easy peasy. You don't have to know how to do anything except for just cut out shapes and glue your fingers together. That's all you got to know how to do. And you can make you a flower on a stick. God, that came from way back when. And hang it on your door. You can either, I have a milk urn outside that I like to put flowers in, but I think actually I'm going to hang this one from the door and see if the cat attacks it, because I think he will. So I'm going to get the handy dandy jute, and I'm going to make about 15,000 rounds because I know exactly what that cat's going to do. And I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to make me I've just got me a ring, a bunch of jute, and I'm going to get me a tiny scrap of fabric. And this fabric is going to be used to kind of meld the jute to the back of this. And just watch it for a few days, and if something comes apart or needs to be re-glued, just re-glue it. Don't get mad at it, just re-glue it. And by fall, all the kinks should be out of it, and you should be able to keep this for several years. And just put it out every year and kind of freshen it up. Maybe add a fake flower from the Dollar Tree or something every once in a while. And check the hanger every year before you put it up. Double check the hanger and make sure it doesn't need more glue. And you should have something that lasts for a few years, because these are rustic, rustic things that weather well. And if you choose the right fabrics, they'll weather well as well. Yeah, I said that right. And so all I did was put that in a loop and glue that to the back. It's that easy. Now, if I were making this for someone else, I would finish it much better. But this is for me. And y'all know, I will cut a piece of burlap out and cover the back so that if you're looking through my glass, you don't see the back of it. But I'll save that for later. So that's how you make a sunflower on a stick. And you can put it on your door. And I'm going to add some green. I'm going to have to find some green somewhere. I think I have some felt. Might add some leaves. But I'm going to definitely cover the back, spruce up a little bit, hang it on the door, and I will add a community post to show you the final project. So this was tonight's Sanity project. Come back tomorrow, and we're probably going to be doing some native stuff or making a lamp because I got to get a bunch of stuff done. So, and also watch later for my video if you want to see what I look like now after 3 weeks. I just took my third shot, so 2 solid weeks of Mounjaro and starting my third week. I will have that video coming out later tonight. So love yous, thanks for spending time with me. Go show a little bit of Nell some love. Go show Oliver Anthony some love. And go watch Tom McDonald's new song and Ryan F. Churcher's new song. And then go on the Odyssey app and look for Synergy, P-S-I-N-E-R-G-Y, and go show her some love because that's her family, y'all. Love yous. Find me on Farmland or Fishland. Elizabeth Waters on Facebook. I don't care to give my name. Come find me. I'll beat you up. All right, everybody go make a sunflower. Show me what it looks like. Love yous. Bye.